Welcome to Investments. I'm Professor Anne Xiang Yang. Today we'll discuss Chapter 4, Mutual Funds. We will focus on Sections 4.5 on mutual fund taxation, Section 4.6 on exchange-traded funds, and Section 4.8 on mutual fund information. We will also do some in-class exercises and concept check for practice. We will need to prepare a calculator, pen or pencil, and pieces of paper or notebook for class. At the end of our session, we will do summary for review. Before we begin, you might be interested in asking yourself a few questions. First, how is tax collected from mutual fund investing? Second, what is the mutual fund turnover rate? Is it better to have a higher turnover rate or is it better to have a lower turnover rate? And what does turnover rate indicate? And beforehand, the tax issue, okay? How are we supposed to be preparing for our taxes at the end of the year for our investment income, capital gains or losses? Third, what are other investment alternatives that are available other than mutual funds? How about exchange-traded funds? For a regular household, do I only have mutual fund as my investment option? Well, not so, all right? Exchange-traded funds is now becoming really popular for regular household. And it would also provide you with some convenience in trading. And we'll talk about that later. Now, fourth, where do I obtain information about mutual funds? Okay? So if you're interested in investing in mutual funds, how about let's start with the tax issues and turnover rates of a mutual fund. Right. So the mutual fund turnover rate would indicate the frequency of mutual fund transaction, either buying or selling conducted by a mutual fund manager. Within the mutual fund portfolio, a mutual fund manager is required to conduct some trading activities to maintain or improve mutual fund performance for a better or higher net asset value, right? Because the net asset value is calculated on a daily basis. Therefore, mutual fund managers are generally accustomed to conduct frequent trading, right? Because a lot of the investment opportunities, the changing in the portfolio composition is necessary. But high degree of frequent trading may also indicate risky decision making, and that will require constant adjustment of portfolio composition. So one of the reasons for the high turnover rate is because the mutual fund manager is required to have specific and appropriate changes of portfolio composition to meet the mutual fund investment objectives. And on a daily basis, when the net asset values are calculated, all the objectives must be met. Right? So there's actually a very high degree of pressure on the job for the mutual fund manager and also for the mutual fund company, right? And through the prices and through the composition, the investors will take a look on how the mutual fund manager is making his or her decision for the day, right? So with the mutual fund turnover rate, okay, that will indicate how the mutual fund company and the mutual fund manager is making a decision. Now, second, what is the exchange-traded mutual fund? An exchange-traded mutual fund is listed on the stock market like any stocks. It's very convenient and we can obtain the real-time pricing, not like the mutual fund that we only obtain the pricing at the end of the day, right? So trading and pricing are also indicated to a listed stock. It provides the benefits of following stock market index managed by professional institutions with less cost than a mutual fund. Definitely, all right? With the exchange-traded fund, since it is listed on the stock exchange, the transaction cost is a whole lot lower than the mutual fund. Because in the mutual fund, we not only have to pay for the expense ratio, but we also have to pay the 12B1 expenses. And we also have the front-end fee or the back-end fee, the front-end load or back-end load, all right? And depending on the number of periods for the holding on to the mutual fund, different fee structures would also apply. But with the exchange traded funds, there's no limitations like that. Okay, we can just trade the exchange traded funds just like any other stocks listed on the stock exchange. And the best benefit of an exchange traded fund is that we could actually see the real-time pricing. We could actually target on specific index or indices, for example, like the S&P 500, okay, or the Dow Jones, all right. So there's really, a whole lot of, selection that's been already made by the exchange traded funds, right. So the ETF will provide continuous pricing during the trading hours of the stock exchange and allow margin trading, right. That is something mutual fund doesn't provide you with, right. Okay, so ETFs in Taiwan are first introduced in 2003, focusing on Taiwan Stock Exchange. Nowadays, just about every single stock exchange or stock market, they would have exchange traded funds already, right, depending on the size and the numbers of ETFs available. Now, followed by the introducing different categories of ETFs that we will include sector ETFs between 2004 and 2006. That will be by focusing on the different sectors. For example, we have the financial industry, we have the technology industry. Okay, these will be the two most important industries in Taiwan, and therefore, exchange traded funds focusing on these industries or these sectors will become very relevant for investors, either individual investor or institutional investors, to invest in. Right. And then we also have a cross-listing of ETFs. Okay, that will be an effort on the part of the governments and stock exchanges to cross-list ETFs. Okay, and we have ETFs cross-listed between Hong Kong and Taiwan in 2009 and 2010. And we also have the qualified institutional investor A-share ETFs in 2011 and 2012, and futures ETF. Right? For the futures markets, we can also provide ETF products in 2014 and 2015. So right now, approximately, we have 46 ETFs, domestic and international, or offshore ETFs are available in Taiwan. Some of the ETFs, okay, just to give you a few names, we will have Taiwan Top 50 ETF, Taiwan Mid-Cap 100 ETF, Taiwan Technology Tracker Fund, Taiwan Electronics Tech ETF, MSCI Taiwan Financials ETFs, Taiwan Dividend Plus ETF, MSCI Taiwan ETF, Taiwan 8 Industries ETF, Taiwan Finance ETF, and TAIEX ETF, and many more to come. Right. So third, where do I obtain information about mutual funds? Well, an absolute source of mutual fund will be available in the marketplace. From the government aspect, the Security Investment Trust and Counseling Association of Taiwan will provide details on mutual fund promotion, registered mutual fund companies, investor protection, and many services and information. Right. So that will be the most detailed information about the mutual fund industry. About the growth, the potential, the prospect, the new products, the new innovations and services, regulations for the mutual fund industry. Government collected statistics on mutual fund activities and transactions are also available. All right. So if you're interested in knowing, which type of mutual funds are, popularly accepted, by investors, then statistics will tell you, okay, will tell you, and then you can also do some studies on that or analysis, right? So we have the regular mutual fund investment scheme and one-time only investment scheme to see the mutual fund flow, inflow and outflow. Okay, this will be particularly important market information for analysis for companies and for mutual fund managers and for the mutual fund team. And then we also have internet or telephone investment schemes. Okay, we have the different media, different channels for mutual fund investment. And then that will all be available, publicly accessible for investors to download and to use as a reference. Now, as well as us, the mutual fund industry would outlook and development, including the number of employees, number of funds, number of companies, domestic mutual funds, and overseas mutual funds. Right. From the public sources, we have many newspapers provide mutual fund commentary, columns, and special reports or special topics, special issues on specific mutual funds. Right. So information is actually widely available. All right. So from the retail aspect, investors can browse through the various websites of banks or postal office for a wide range of different mutual funds. Most banks and postal office also provide internet account for online mutual fund subscription and redemption.